Whatever happened to President Trump's promise to drain the swamp? When it comes to his cabinet and members of his administration, the swampy water, well, appears to be getting deeper. Here to discuss, Richard Painter, a former White House ethics lawyer, and CNN political commentator Doug Heye, a Republican strategist. Hello, gentlemen. Thank you for coming on. So, Richard, sources are telling CNN tonight that the lead agent in charge of Scott Pruitt's security detail got booted from Pruitt's detail after he told his boss that he couldn't use lights and sirens to get through D.C. traffic any quicker. The unnamed agent told Pruitt that he could only, do that in emergency. What's your reaction?
Well, the lights and sirens routine, we had a lot of that with Vice President Cheney during the Bush administration. It certainly tied up traffic going back and forth in the Vice President's house. But for the EPA administrator, I mean, this is ridiculous. There's no need for that. And where's he going and coming from? This $50 a night room he's got with a lobbyist who's busy trying to deregulate the energy industry. I mean, this is exactly the kind of thing that the American people are fed up with in Washington. Yeah. They haven't drained the swamp. They just made it worse.
Well, Doug, Pruitt's scandals, they seem to be piling up, from first-class flights to a hefty security detail, below-the-market rent that you talked about, the condo for $50 a night, co-owned by a wife of an energy lobbyist. What happened again to draining the swamp? What's going on?
Well, what we've seen, and we've seen obviously other examples of this in other departments and agencies, is that some of the prime directive of what they're there for has been forgotten. There's a lot of substance that Scott Pruitt and his team would rather be talking about than all of this. And I can tell you, as you know, Don, I worked for Eric Cantor when he was Majority Leader of the House for 2.5 years, which means I was in his security detail a lot. We never used a siren. We never tried to get anywhere other than being stuck at the same stoplights as everybody else. And all these stories are having a pile-on effect. But the biggest mistake that he's made is the Fox News interview. And I can tell you, here's exactly how it happens. It happens one of two ways. Either the principal says, I need my voice out there to defend myself, or a not helpful staffer says, you know what, boss? Your voice needs to be out there to help define things. That's always how these things happen, and it's where the comms team, and he's a very smart and very talented comms team at EPA, needs to be able to get a better hold on things and have him step back.
Well, speaking of having your voice out there, in spite of Pruitt's problems, his boss seems unfazed. Here's a president earlier today.
I think that Scott has done a fantastic job. I think he's a fantastic person. I just left coal and energy country. They love Scott Pruitt. They feel very strongly about Scott Pruitt, and they love Scott Pruitt.
Richard, is Scott Pruitt going to make it?
Well, I don't know. I guess if the president wants to keep him there, he can keep him there, but he's not protecting the environment. It's supposed to be the Environmental Protection Agency. It's turning into the Environmental Pollution Agency. And he's got an energy lobbyist who's giving him a room for $50 a night. We all know nobody can get a room for $50 a night in Washington, D.C. unless you get a cabinet position and get a lobbyist to give it to you. Yeah. So if that's what the president wants, okay. But I think the American people are going to need to go to the polls and give some people a good kick in the behind, because this is unacceptable.
CNN has learned, Doug, that at least 5 staffers at the EPA have been reassigned or demoted after raising concerns about Pruitt's spending. Is the clock ticking on Pruitt's job? Should it be? President seems okay.
Well, the fact that the president spoke to the press, which we know he doesn't do a lot, and did so on Air Force One, means he does have that endorsement from the president, because Scott Pruitt is somebody who is implementing the president's agenda in a way that not every cabinet secretary is. He's been very effective at his job, which means for Scott Pruitt and his team, what they need to do, as the president should do, stay out of your own way, focus on the policies that you're trying to implement. There'll be more bad stories, but if he recedes from the headlines, he should be fine.
Well, Tillerson's job was fine, that's what he said, and then McMaster was fake news, and look at where they are. Thank you, gentlemen.
And tomorrow's Friday.
And tomorrow is Fire Day. Thank you all. Thank you both. That's it for us tonight. Thanks for watching. I'll see you right back here tomorrow.